Hello, hello. Welcome to the Big Bad Marketing Podcast. I'm Janae.
And I'm Brooke, and we are two marketers, coaches, and business owners who have spent literally thousands of hours helping real people grow real businesses without going bankrupt.
This podcast is for solopreneurs, accidental entrepreneurs, and side hustlers who are ready to grow their revenue, but have less than $500 a month to spend on marketing.
In each episode, we give you real deal strategy, practical mindset shifts, and the occasional rant about cringy marketing schemes so you can show up and grow even if your time and budget are tight.
We're here to empower you to build a bigger, badder business. Are you ready to get started? Let's do this.
All right. Welcome, welcome. Today we are talking about drip and nurture campaigns. And if you just said, what in the heck does that mean? You're in the right spot. We,
Keep listening.
yeah, keep listening. You've made it. You've arrived. So we did an episode a couple months ago about email marketing more generally and how to do effective email marketing for your business. So we're going to link that in the show notes. And maybe if you have not yet listened to that, it's a great time to pause, go back and listen to that one, and then pick up here because we're talking about some more high level concepts that go beyond just creating your opt in, building your list, and sending your first welcome email. All right. At this point, we are assuming that you have started building an email list. So you have an opt-in on your website. You've got an incredible lead magnet. If you have not listened to our episode about lead magnets and freebies, please go back. It is so robust and it will help you create a perfect lead magnet for your brand. You've got your first email in place. It's probably a welcome email that you trigger to your subscribers when they sign up for your list and you deliver that freebie. Bam, bam, you're good to go. So what comes next?
Well, I just want to pause and say, like, don't you love when all of the things link up in the right way, in the right order? And I'm like, yes, we have a general email marketing podcast, blog. Like, so if that's where you are, go to that. And then there's just like a strategic flow towards where we are right now. And I'm like both patting us on the back, but I'm also like, this is the thing that we get so excited about is when there is clear strategic flow for a business. So it makes sense. You help your customers, if they're not already, become qualified to be ready to work with you. And that's what we're doing. And I'm just like, kudos that we're practicing what we preach. So yay, yay, little side note.
Yes.
Um,
And I think a healthy reminder for small business owners that these things happen over time. So you do not
no,
need
we
to
did this in one
go,
day, okay?
you do not need to go from 1 to 100 with your email marketing and like have everything in place in a single day. It's just not realistic. We build over time, we take these baby steps, and that's
We
what
go
we're
back and fix
introducing.
things.
Exactly. And it's
Mhm.
all iteration, and you're gonna continue to do that.
Oh yeah, and it's fun. If you make it fun, it's fun to A/B test and try different things and explore. So yes.
Yes.
Okay, so you've got all of this stuff set up. You're ready for the next step. The next step is to think about drip campaigns and nurture campaigns, which are going to be ways to continue to stay top of mind for your audience and gently nudge them in a direction of your choosing.
We love that. We're gonna tell them what we want them to do next.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so a drip campaign is going to be a place where you are sending a pre created series of emails at automated times. So the sequence is already set up. You basically drop their email address in a special little segment, and then it's going to happen automatically for you. And those emails are going to come out at different intervals. And then the recipients are going to get all of the emails in the sequence until the whole sequence is completed. So this might be a series of welcome emails when they sign up for your service. That's like, hey, thanks for joining. And then the next one is like, here's the FAQs. And the next one is, here's a couple super secret tips that will help you make the best of your new program sign up. And the next one is like, here's how you can get more services that will make sense with what you're doing, which is a great like upsell add-on for you, and you're giving them more value. But it's basically an opportunity to like in a welcome series and a welcome drip campaign, it's an opportunity for you to give more value to your customer and help them make the most out of whatever it is that they've bought from you.
Yes. And we love this as a welcome sequence because one, that is when your customers are at their most excited. They've just made the purchase. So, what better time than to connect with them and be like, hey, here's how you can get even more value from this thing. And did you know? And did you know? And did you know? Upsell opportunities, exposure to other things in your wheelhouse. There are endless things that you can do with a drip campaign. And the most important thing to know about that drip campaign is you might be thinking to yourself, well, 5 or 7 emails, as I can't come up with 5 or 7 emails, but this is a one-time activity until you need to iterate on it. But maybe that's not for 6 months or a year from now. So you're going to create this section of emails. You're going to schedule them and you're going to say, when somebody signs up for my email list or when they sign up for my product, I am going to wait an hour and then I'm going to send them this email. And then 2 days later, they're going to get this email. And then 3 days later, they're going to get this email. And once you have that funnel created, you're done and you don't need to worry about it because people are going
Ding.
to automatically, those campaigns are going to drip like out of a faucet. That's just going to be a drop and it's
Literally,
going to
yes.
go. And then the next drop is going to go and it's going to happen without you.
Yes, we love automation and anything that gets you as a solopreneur or a business owner who's wearing a million hats, your time back. So this is another one of those and it's a great one because it makes the people who have decided to work with you or sign up with you or give you money in any capacity like feel really good. They feel excited and engaged to be part of whatever you're doing. So that's this opportunity. And I'm thinking about it actually as you're saying that, Brooke, like we use the acronym COPE. So create once, publish everywhere as like an opportunity to you build a huge blog that's really in depth. Now you can pull snippets from that to use on social. You can pull snippets to use in your email. You can get lots of inspiration from one effort lift to create the blog and sprinkle it all over so you don't have to keep doing the lift. In this case, I'm like, this is create once, reuse all the time. I'm like, I didn't quite work out the acronym for it. It's like Cora, maybe. But the point is, Brooke, like you're making such an important distinction for people that this isn't you sitting here and every time you get a new customer, you have to send and write a new email to them 6 times over the course of 7 days, right? This is like you create the emails, maybe even using the support of an AI tool, right? Or a freelancer if you have that capacity or some employee, something like that. You make these emails, you tailor them to the user journey or the experience that your customer is going through while they've just signed up in the case of a welcome drip campaign. Um, and then now you have it and you can reuse it and reuse it and reuse it and it's automated. So you just put in the few hours one time and it's all set.
Yeah,
Love.
we love that. So let's now talk about a nurture campaign and how that differs from a drip campaign. The key difference between these two, and they are quite similar, and I hear them even in our realm of marketing used interchangeably sometimes. And the nurture campaign is going to be triggered by a particular action or user behavior. So, for example, let's say you host a webinar and you invite people to the webinar and they attend and someone reaches a certain point in the webinar, say somebody gets to 90% completion, then you're going to drop them into this nurture campaign where you're going to say, okay, now send them this email that's like, thanks so much for attending our webinar. We hope that you got these XYZ benefits. And then maybe after that, it triggers a series of 3 campaigns that are nurturing them because you now know that they attended your webinar and they sat through 90% of it. So they've learned these particular things. And now you can follow up and do a more targeted version of a drip campaign. So I think about a nurture campaign as just a more user specific and behavior specific email sequence. And it can be a single email, it can be a series of emails. It sort of depends on what it is you're trying to get that person to do as a result of sending that email.
Sure. And I would say it's also related to, right, like the sales cycle of your business, right? Some businesses and sales cycles take a lot longer and need multiple touch points, which means just moments where you're in contact with a prospect, and maybe they need to be educated about how it works a little bit more, or there's a phase where they're doing research and comparison with other company options. So nurture campaigns, I'd say, are helpful in that you're getting to build out communication at the right times. While it's not always to direct them to buy something, pretty often when we're talking about marketing on the whole, it's because we want to get more eyeballs on our stuff and then turn those eyeballs into people who give us money. So while the most direct CTA, so the call to action here, might not always with every single one of these emails, whether it's drip or nurture, be okay, now go buy the thing on our page. We're always adding value and directing people what the next step we want them to take is, which maybe is in an educational moment, like now listen to this podcast episode, now download this template and fill it out, right? So we're guiding them and helping move the sales process along, especially when that's a lengthy one. We're staying top of mind.
Yeah, I love that. And this feels like a really appropriate time to pivot to how we create these email campaigns step by step, because the first step in that process really is defining the goal. So before you outline any drip or nurture campaign, you are starting with, what is the goal of this? What am I wanting to tell people? What do I want them to do? What is the end game for me and my brand and my business?
Like, what's the why?
Yeah, exactly. So, do I want to send this drip campaign to encourage people who have just bought my product to use different features than they might normally? Do I want them to then buy an add-on product? Do I want to direct them to my merchandise? Do I want to simply expose them to the other services? Say they bought a course on email marketing. Do I also want them to know that I specialize in SEO and blog writing and these other things? So maybe that's part of my drip campaign, is simply, hey, by the way, we do this thing, in a very subtle
Mm-hmm.
value add
Mm-hmm.
sort of way.
Which, if you like are one of these people like us, businesses who have freebies or a lead magnet system in place, this is exactly where you'd go. You're like, okay, we gave out the freebie so that we would get their email. Now we're going to implement a drip campaign. It's not quite a welcome email because they haven't bought the thing yet or paid us in some way, but it's like a, hey, now you're on our list and we're going to send you this sequence of emails, which is with, to this step by step goal point that you're making, Brooke. Like, what is the goal? Is like, now we're going to reel them in, right? They've given us their email, we've given them something of value. Now we're going to slowly surely pull them in so they get all excited and buy.
Yes, love it. All right.
Okay,
So
so
after we
what's
have the
next?
goal, then we're figuring out who we're sending it to and when. And that is a key piece for your automation. So that really is where the difference comes in with the drip versus nurture. Am I going to send it based on a particular thing that someone does? Or do I just want to send this as part of a series where I am slowly dripping it to them over a series of days or weeks to help them make the most of this particular thing that I am doing?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. And then after that, once you know the goal of the campaign, once you know who it's going to, which audience, which segment, and when, then you need to decide on the timing, the format, and the CTA. So these are all things that we've been talking about. Do I want to send this to them first thing in the morning? Is my audience more engaged late at night? Do I want to add a GIF in this one? Do I want to use a particular CTA? Do I want to try a couple different CTAs and see what's most effective? But it's at this point sort of building out the email, deciding on your subject line, deciding on your preview text, and really building out the whole deal.
Sure. And okay, a lot of this is going to be built in your brand voice, your brand messaging, your style. So take time to really craft it. I mean, I'm saying a lot, but like all of this should be cohesive with your brand. So take the time, especially as you're building this once and then reusing it, to make sure it is aligned, it matches with the voice, and it's an opportunity to A B test. So you can develop a few different subject lines and test those out. But it's also a really important time to think through your product or service and how this is going to apply. Like, especially the timing piece, because I'm thinking if I buy, let's say, a flight online, I want to know right away that it's been confirmed, that they got all my information correctly. Like, I want a receipt email right away and maybe a follow up, maybe not quite a welcome email, but like a, yay, you booked your trip. Here's a few other things you might want to book, like a hotel or a rental car, right? But if I submit a request for a custom home build, I might not be expecting to hear back for at least a few days because that's probably going to take a while. So think these things through as you're mapping out the timing, the formats, the CTAs.
Yeah, and being sure to not overwhelm people, right? Especially if someone has, say, opted in to a lead magnet, they're probably less engaged than, say, someone who has filled out a contact form for a custom home builder. So we don't want to take that lead magnet person and say, okay, I'm going to do a drip campaign every 2 hours for the next 3 days because
Yeah, they
they're
get
just gonna,
bombarded.
right, exactly. Whoa. So really, and less is more. So if you are deciding between 5 and 7 and 10 emails, could you say it in three? What are your main points? Do you actually need all those emails? Really try to consider the availability of your ideal prospect and the desire to open these, because the more that you send, unless you've really established your value in the beginning, people might get a little worn out.
Yeah, I was going to say that feels annoying. I'm trying to think of the scenario where I would want to get like multiple emails in one day or over the course of several days. And actually, this is so perfectly timed. I just ordered. Oh, I hope he's not listening right now. But I ordered for my partner a subscription of coffee beans. So they'll deliver the coffee beans to the house on a monthly basis. This is very
Oh, I
exciting
love
for us.
that.
It's a surprise gift. That's great. So hopefully by the time this is live, he'll already have gotten them. He'll know. But as soon as I made the purchase, I got an email receipt. Great. And I obviously was dropped into their welcome campaign. No problem. But then this has been like maybe 3 days ago. I've already gotten like four more emails about how to make the most of this and other options that I can buy into and this and that. And I'm like, okay, this is borderline like too much. This is too much. And I love coffee. Like I'm caffeinated, right? Like I'm like, yes, go, go, go. And clearly they are too. But you got to think through the level of desire for the product you have and how involved, aside from like the level of engagement that the person has with your brand on digital platforms. Like, do I really need 5 emails in one day about coffee beans? Probably not. But maybe if I bought into like a financial service, I'd be a little more intrinsically interested in knowing having many more updates about it and would be more okay with that. Right. Like weigh that out as you're thinking about how often and how many emails someone needs about this thing.
Yeah, and test these campaigns on yourself, right? If you want to send, really, really want to send a 10 email drip campaign, just sign yourself up to it before you schedule it for anybody else and see how that feels to
Live
you.
it out.
Yeah, live it out, or take a friend or a coworker or someone who sort of kind of knows what you do, but maybe is not 100% invested the way that you are, and ask them how they felt about that. Did you feel like that was valuable? Was that too many? Because we should always, always be running everything through the lens of what does our ideal customer think about this?
Oh, yes. And if you have someone you can ask for like trusted feedback who knows and likes you, like you're saying, like a friend, like I got a bunch of friends that I could ask, hey, can you do me a favor? Can I sign you up for this drip campaign we've created and just like feel it out, read them, tell me what you think of the experience? Like those people, if they're going to give me honest feedback, telling me that it's annoying, that's gold because those people already like us and they are like more encouraged to open the email because we're asking them to participate. So if they're getting annoyed by it, chances are you got to tone it down just a little bit.
Yes, absolutely. And then the last step in creating those email campaigns is automating it. And the automation piece of it is going to be largely dependent on the email provider that you use. So we are very outspoken about our love of Squarespace for all things website hosting and how easy they make it to build a website. Where we do not love Squarespace is the email automation ability, specifically around drip and nurture campaigns. The way
Which,
that's,
wait, I just want to give them some credit. I'm sorry to cut you
yeah,
off. Is like
no,
they do this platform does such a good job at what they specialize in and their main thing, right? We're always talking about the main thing here, like building websites in there, DIY, super user friendly. And then they have spread their services out to offer this other thing. And it's just like, it can't compete with a formal email marketing system software because it's that's not what they are, but they're doing us this clutch thing, which is giving us some features.
yes. Yeah,
Back to
love
you.
that. Important distinction. And if all you want to do is just the bare bones basics, Squarespace email functionality might be fine. But if you're looking to do these more advanced campaigns specifically on the nurture side where you want to take specific actions, you're going to need to incorporate some different software tools that, to your point, Janae, are really advanced in the capabilities and the integrations. So a couple that we like is ConvertKit, MailChimp, and ActiveCampaign. So these are three popular ones. Probably, and I think ConvertKit recently rebranded to just Kit. So be aware of that as you look it up. But we love these. Again, Kit, MailChimp, and ActiveCampaign are three options that you may also, depending on the one you choose and the type of nurture campaign you want to set up, you may need another tool like a Zapier that's going to enable you to send information from one system to another that says, if someone does this action on my website, notify my email provider and segment them in this category and trigger this automation. So it can get really intense. And we're actually working with a client right now that has a ton of existing email automation set up, and we're sort of making our way through and
Auditing.
yeah, peeling back the layers and being like, okay, this goes to who, when, and this one triggers then, and then so how is this going to get to somebody and who's getting this? And it can create these massive webs of things. So if this is not your specialty, we would highly encourage you to work with someone who is well versed in email automations just to get you set up. You can manage it on your own, but the setup can be a little daunting.
Yes. And I was going to say, first thing is keep your email lists clean. Like running a business and life in general can get really messy and clunky. And I understand that. We all understand that. But if you're going to do one thing really well and be on top of it, it's managing and keeping your email list organized. And take that with a grain of salt because there's like a lot of things where we're like, if you're going to do one thing, do this thing. And life is like that too. But that one's really important. And the more on top of that you stay, the easier your life will be as you grow, as you continue to collect more emails and contacts and need to segment more specifically or update lists and automate emails to certain groups within the list. So that's just my like quick tip of if you're just starting out, that's a great time to build in systems to keep yourself organized.
Yeah.
Um,
And as your business changes, which it will a lot, and we talk about this and how many iterations we're already growing through with Big Bad Marketing, but be sure to update your email lists in time with that. For example, if you sunset a particular product and you have an email list for that product, make sure that you fold those subscribers into another list and maybe send them a quick email and be like, hey, by the way, we've sunset this. We're going to continue to send you emails about XYZ. Not interested? Go ahead and unsubscribe. And that's a really easy way to just kind of keep things clean and make sure that you're still talking to the right people as you grow and pivot and change the things that you are offering.
yes. And I love how fearlessly you approach telling people to unsubscribe because what we run into so often is that business owners have email lists they've been collecting since they're 12 years old and like have never revisited it. And then they have low open rates or high bounce rates because people are not engaged anymore with the content. And when you're doing marketing and when you're trying to reach people, it's not what is that called? It's like a vanity metric to be like, well, I have a list of 10,000 people. Well, that's great. But if only two people opened the email, right? Or like one person converted, it doesn't matter how many people you send it to. So at Big Bad, we have the philosophy of like reduce the amount of people you're sending to, reduce the quantity of your reach out, improve the quality. Focus on getting it to people who are actually like hooked on the line and really interested and engaged in what you're offering, because those are the people who are going to buy.
Yeah, it's like the equivalent of social media followers, where you're like, well, I
Yes.
have
Yes.
10 million followers and I made 5 sales last month. It's like, okay, well, I'd
Right.
rather work with the micro influencer who has 1,000 followers and, 500 of them bought something last month.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, Brooke, hotspot question is how many email addresses in your list is a good number to start thinking about upgrading to a specialty service or opting into some of these add-on softwares?
Ooh, so shout out to our episode on business math. I would say before you dive into buying all the tools and setting up all the things, I would run the cost. Because if you are not yet selling anything, maybe it's a good time to wait because these subscriptions can run you anywhere from tens to hundreds of dollars, per month or per year, depending on the tier of service that you get. Now, some will offer either free trials or free tiers that limit you to the number of email subscribers. So, for example, I think Active Campaign might limit you to 500 subscribers or something along those lines. Don't quote me on that. So, that might be a good mechanism to say, once I reach the threshold of the free tier, I will upgrade to the next tier. But more than purely number of subscribers or number of email sends, I would say work it out from a financial standpoint because once you do get into one of these things and you implement it across all your systems, it's way harder to unravel and move to something else or to stop doing the things that people now expect.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree.
Yeah.
So, is it fair to say that those costs count in your business math of customer acquisition costs?
Yes. That would be part of the marketing aspect of customer acquisition costs.
So, in general, we want to aim to always lower our cost to getting a new customer and bringing the customer in the first place, and then raise the length of time that they stay with us and the cost per transaction so that we're making more from the people who are already engaged with us by giving them a lot of value.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
these are like, if you're not here yet and these are future states, that's fine. But it's really great, I think, to start thinking about this as you're just diving into like side hustler. I don't know yet where I'm going and I don't know how this is going to work, but these are totally the things to think about. So you have structures and visions in mind as you go towards them.
Yeah. And Janae and I say this all the time, but use all the free things first. Do not upgrade to pay for anything until you absolutely have to. You can run your business, especially if you are an online service provider. You can do this for relatively inexpensive. I'm talking less than $250 a month. You can be running your business. So don't add on things until it becomes absolutely vitally necessary to the running of your business to do so. And look for an upcoming podcast episode on all of the free things that you can use to market your business.
Run your business and market your business on the cheap.
Absolutely. And if you have not signed up for our email list, go ahead to our website, bigbadmarketing.com, and sign up. You'll get our annual marketing calendar and you will be opted into our monthly newsletters that just are value packed and give you all the latest and greatest at BBM.
All
All right. Anything else?
Get out there, build welcome campaigns, build drip campaigns, build nurture campaigns. If you are like, I got to get started, I'm not sure where to start, check out our email marketing course. It's also available on our website, bigbadmarketing.com/shop. And it'll walk you through how to set up a welcome email and get your first emails out.
Awesome. Thanks
Thanks
for
for
listening.
listening.
Bye.